alizarin. And I'm gonna sprinkle that in that area. I'm gonna pour this color off, so if you're thinking I got too much color in there, no worries. It'll probably all pour off anyway. And we can roll that around a little bit to smooth it out. I'm not pouring any water off yet. I'll do that in a moment. Okay. And of course, when I pour off the water, the value of my sky is gonna lighten up. And I want it to do that too. And then I'm gonna take a little, I could use either blue. I'm gonna use a combination of the Windsor blue green shade and the cobalt blue. And we're gonna sprinkle some of that color up along the top. And it's way darker than I intend to be, but like I said, I'm gonna pour a lot of this color off. You can see it dripping off now.
Is that what you did in the one underneath, and it came so light?
Yeah, it did. Basically, it's about the same.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It seems like a royal waste of paint, but it's not.
You're not using it.
You know, really, you aren't. For the cheap ones among us,
That's
myself
the
included.
fun, to me, that's the fun part of watercolor, is the washes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Nobody
always
doesn't like you,
this,
Joel.
but this always turns out better than using a brush. You know, I didn't
It
even
does.
I didn't even use a brush on this at all, other
It
than
doesn't compromise the paper at all.
No.
And you can see the texture
I
underneath.
absolutely agree. Right?
Yeah.
And there, you know, it looks so rich now, right? It looks
Yeah.
pretty dark, but remember,
So beautiful.
it'll probably dry. Just basically what I had last night. Now,
Uh-huh.
my other point that I want to make, the light color winds up into the area of the orange tree and the yellow trees and the red tree. Of course, that color underneath will not matter at all when I put the colors on top of it later, because there's hardly anything at all and it's very light. But I have a nice progression in my sky, from dark to light, from blue to violet along the horizon. And all our skies should have that quality. In fact, there's one other progression that you could put into the sky sometimes. If the sun is in this area, and I don't think I did it that well, but you can actually make this part of the sky a little darker, go to light towards the sun. So there's not only a progression from dark to light that way, there's also a progression away from the sun, light to dark.
Would you ever put any yellow in your sky?
No, I mean, you know, there's sometimes in the mornings you might see a different effect.
So the light.
But I'd be careful about, I wouldn't go any lower than like cadmium yellow medium,
Okay.
or cadmium yellow deep would be a good range. Orange is
You could
usually,
do the round.
I prefer to wind up in the orange range.
Okay.
You start getting to lemon, the sky don't look that, you know, they don't look lemony. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't really see that. You do see some pastel skies, and they are more in the yellow medium to yellow deep range, I
But if
think.
you had the sun of it, I'm
Yeah,
asking, I know.
you could.
the stuff.
You could, or you could, you know, the blue could go from more of a greenish blue in the area of the sun, which I kind of have here anyway. That's that Windsor blue green shade, and that's slightly greenish because it's closer to the sun. And as you get away, it could go more towards cobalt blue, which is more of a true blue. So you go from a slightly greenish blue to a true blue away from the sun.
Right.
Boy, that's a high goal.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I
and that's
it's really hard.
and that's really hard to do. So I'm telling you, if you guys just get a nice progression from dark to light towards the horizon, or a nice progression like I did here with the color, I'm so happy for you, and you'll have a good sky every single time. You know, a nice clear blue sky. And of course, the old saying in painting goes, you either feature the sky or you feature the landscape, but you don't do both. And that means if your landscape is very complex, keep your sky simple.
Right.
And if your sky has a lot of stuff going on it, keep your landscape
Okay.
simple. All right, but don't try to do both, because it's really not worth it. So I have a very simple sky for my very complicated landscape. Okay, let me hit the hairdryer in this and